Yo, what's up everybody? I'm ottoarney, the person behind the camera and behind Pick6 Production, which you probably see on this channel. You probably also have seen my documentaries, the sports ones that have also been on this channel. But today, I wanted to give you guys a specific, detailed, inside look at how I edit my sports photos. I recently just took a trip to Oregon and was working on these photos, and I noticed that the colors were a lot harder to work with. And then I thought about, what if I just made a video on how I edit my day-to-day photos throughout high school, and then I also just threw in a couple from Oregon just to show you guys how I played with these extreme yellow colors and how I toned it down a bit, but then also had that creative style. So today I'm gonna be showing you guys the step-by-step process of how I edit my photos. Then also I'll be attaching down in the link below my own presets that I use throughout the video, so you can purchase them and follow along, or I'll just show you my settings. It just takes a whole lot longer and you won't have access to all of them, but that's okay. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so first I just wanted to start out with the photo that I took from my high school. And this is just from one of the players at my school. And I just wanted to show you guys the step-by-step process of how I would go through editing a normal photo. This was taken in pretty good lighting. I would say the original is a little dark. So let's just take a look at how I edit this photo. So as you guys can see here, the color already looks so much better just with the preset I put on it. This is from my preset pack, and this is the signature color. The greens really pop and really brings out the skin tones, and the jersey color. I think that looks really cool. So as you guys can see on the right hand side are a lot of my settings. So 98 exposure, contrast, moving down to color. We got the temperature there, and then also all the individual color settings. Feel free to pause, you guys, because I think it really is needed. If you guys want to pause, fix your settings just how mine are, or again, my presets are linked below if you want to buy them. They're only $15 right now, and they include about 8 presets, which to me is totally worth it. Moving down to effects, I just bumped up my texture a little bit, around 20, clarity 8, and then dehazed it by around 10. Detail, I just sharpened it a little bit. This one didn't need much luminance or color correction, just to the noise. And then I checked both on optics just to make sure that I correct those lens, whatever might have gone wrong in the process of me taking the photo, and if the lens screwed anything up. I'm just gonna go here and increase the green a little bit. I'm just showing you guys how this preset, how the greens are influenced. This is what it looks like without and with, so I'm kind of just going back and forth here. And then I think that's about it. So let's move on to the next photo here. This was one I took. I really liked how he was posing. Here are all 8 of my presets, but let's just throw on the signature one. As you guys can kind of see, the photo itself looks really orange. So what I'm gonna do here to correct that is move the tint a little bit towards magenta, expose it, and then drop down this orange by a lot. Maybe down to 27. I feel like that's good, around that ballpark. I also really like the red. These jerseys, in my opinion, are really cool. So I wanted to bring that out and match it to the original red. If I increase the exposure too by just a little bit, it helps like lift up those oranges so it's not as saturated. Yeah, and then in this case, I just cropped it a little bit just to actually support the overall composition of the image. And then, so as you guys can see, also on the sky here, I wanted to add a mask just so it would, so I could just select the sky itself. By dropping the exposure, we can get a lot more of those clouds in the blue sky, drop those highlights a little bit. I feel like that was too dark, so I lifted it back up. And then just by dehazing it, also you get more of that blue sky in there. And then by texturizing it, you probably get more texture in the clouds. Saturate it a little bit more. And then I feel like it's still too dark, so I'm gonna expose the background just a little bit more. As you guys can see, that makes a huge difference to the clouds in the background of the image. So before and now after. So I feel like that looks a whole lot better just by applying the preset. If you guys want, you can go back and pause just to get a feel for the colors, but I think I'm gonna move on to the next image here. So this one, I actually really like the photo itself. He's up there grabbing the ball, so I think that looks really cool. Just by adjusting the temperature, you guys can see that makes a big difference. Again, this is my signature preset here. So just making those small changes to the preset gives it your own stylized look. Here's my settings if you guys want to pause on it. Again, I always normally keep my optics both selected, and then it's just a little dark, so I think exposing it matches the original image a lot better. The green you can also manipulate too. I sometimes like mine leaning a little bit more right, just so that way the greens are more saturated. I think this is a beautiful before and after, and brings out the red in the colors as well. So it looks really good. This one here is from my trip to Oregon, which I am super hyped about. I'm gonna apply my flash film preset. I just feel like it looks best with this one to get that filmic look because the background is so blurred and has that interesting look. I brought down the temperature a bit just to give it that filmy look, the bluish hues, and then bring up the saturation just so the colors don't all melt together. If you expose it a bit too, it brings out the highlights a lot. And then I also drop the clarity just a little bit more to get more bloom on the highlights. So moving on to the colors, I just increased the saturation of the yellow. I thought that really looked cool. And in the Flight plus Fight logo, it also looks super cool. So you could also play with the highlights too. I brought mine down a bit just because I brought the clarity down. This is a before and after of it. I think it looks really cool. I feel like it's not for everybody. It's a very stylized, specific look. I think if you applied the signature preset on it, it'll look just as good. And then here you go, putting it on this prior image. We can drop down the exposure and it gives that moody film look as well. We can increase the clarity or drop it down to bring out those highlights more, but because this doesn't have as much highlights, I brought it back up. And then you can expose the image, but keeping it dark also gives it that film look. So this is a before and after. And then finally, moving on here is this one photo I got. I really do think this one's good, but it can use a lot of work as well. I think the framing's a little off, and then the colors could just be brought out more. So putting my signature film look on this, I think that it's a little bit too yellow. So I dragged the temperature to blue and then moved it towards the purplish hue just to get rid of the over amount of green. I brought the green a little bit towards right. Like I told you guys, I feel like it looks a lot better. Exposing this image as well and making sure all the basic settings help a lot. As you guys can see, it already looks a whole lot better from the start. But I wanted to bring out those yellows, bring out the jerseys, which I thought were just amazing for this game. I really had a fun time editing all of them during the process. So if I just crop this in a little bit, I think that already looks a lot cooler and gives a good view of the visor. I'm just gonna bring this up a little bit more just so I can get a view of those 4 O's from the band in the top. I think that looks really cool, and it's very specific to Oregon, so I wanted to include that. And then that's just a before and after. I think the oranges look a lot better, and then number 9 also looks super cool. In the field shows those different colors in green, which I think are really nice leading up to the action and the player. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope this video helped narrow down your editing styles a lot more. Feel free to go back and screenshot any part that you might need, or just pause the video on specific colors or basic settings. If you don't want to get the presets, that's okay. But if you do, they're down below for only 15 bucks. There's 8 total presets. A lot of them are filmic looks if you like that style. And then I also included my film look that's included in pretty much all the photos in this video, except for one. It's the preset that I use on the day-to-day basis when editing my photos. And yeah, I really think it is a jack of all trades, so make sure to go comment below. And if you guys like this video and want to see more just like this, feel free to comment and like it, because that lets me know you want to see more like this, and I'll keep coming with the tutorials because I think it's something that I always wanted when I first got started. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.